Father, we worship your supremacy. We give you all the glory. We worship you, Father, for you alone is worthy to be praised. Glorious God, beautiful King, excellent God, I bow before your throne. Glorious God, beautiful.
Good morning and happy Sunday to you, friends, and everyone out there, wherever you are. It is a beautiful day today. Time to give God all the glory. It's time to appreciate His faithfulness and His goodness in our life. I just want to thank God for you, and I want to bless His name for keeping you safe and for watching over you and your family. Today is another day. The Bible says this is the day that the Lord has made, and we're encouraged to rejoice and be glad in it. So I just want to make this quick Sunday morning broadcast to let somebody that who cares to listen to me to know that the Lord loves you. I don't know what you're going through. Perhaps what you're going through your mind. I do not know how you went to bed last night with all the thinking, with all the challenges. Perhaps you're thinking, where is the next meal going to come from? You're troubled about your family, you're troubled about your health, you're troubled about your finance, you're troubled about your business, your ministry. You see, everything around gives cause for concern. See, and events and occurrences in the world today, without any shadow of doubt, you know that things are no longer the same way they used to be. And we have war still going on in Ukraine and Russia. You have going on between Israel and Palestinians in Gaza. You have in Sudan as well. And 80 issues is yet to be resolved. And even Europe too, recently United Kingdom where I live is also had issues with protests, racial prejudice, discrimination. The world is in chaos. The world is in chaos. You have recently also in Nigeria protests, people destroying, damaging things because they're fighting for hunger to be elevated. You look around and you start asking yourself serious questions. Where is the world going or heading towards? And I have come to a point and I realize that events and occurrences in the world is a clear indication that our knowledge, our wealth, our technology, and thinking alone are not sufficient to solve the problems of this world. This is a generation with better technology, advanced in technology, a generation that can be in one village and communicate with every part of the world, a generation that is technologically inclined and advanced, a generation that has more money than the previous generation, and a generation that have been proved to have knowledge, skills. But when you look around, then you ask yourself, I ask myself these serious questions. How come it's still the same generation that is having so much challenges? War, lack of peace, lack of trust, blackmail, character assassination, hatred, full of envy. We despise one another. We also have an ecological crisis. So you see, children stabbing one another, nation against nation, political instability. You have leaders, the supposed leaders of the free world lying and trying to legalize, lies, make lies to look like real. So we have a whole lot of things going on in our world that we may find it difficult to explain. You have children killing one another. You have young people being young women being raped by by members of their family. The most abominable. The lady saying she wants to get married to her father, and the father was was not interested. The father was seeking help, asking people to come and help him. So you can see the world that we live in now, and a world that a girl got pregnant for her own stepfather, the husband of her mother. So so you can see the world that we are now, that our thinking, our technology, our intellectual ability alone cannot solve the problem. So in other words, we therefore need God, the one who created this world. The Bible recorded that in Genesis chapter 1, that when God created the world, He looked around on the sixth day. He said, yes, all I have created is good and perfect, and this is the time for me on the seventh day to rest. So He created the world in a perfect way, and man decided to make that same world chaotic. You see, the responsibility that we have in Genesis chapter 1 verse 28 was to be the custodian of what God created, to look after, to manage the estate, and so that the generation coming after us will have something better, something beautiful to live, a better place to live. But what have we done is to abuse that environment, from California to Australia, Australia to Europe to America. We have unimaginable ecological disaster. The earth responding to the abuse. You have Amazon becoming drying, all the time. You have ocean reducing in sizes. You have unusual flooding, from nations to nation, from different places, things you wouldn't have heard of in the last maybe 20-30 years ago. So things are no longer the same way they used to be. I don't know if you still need someone to tell you that you need God in that kind of situation. I don't know if you're still oblivious to the fact that it is the one who created this world that can fix it. Because when you buy a car and your car is faulty, if you want to be economical, you may take it to roadside mechanic. You'll be blessed if they can fix it. But if it's a major problem that they cannot fix, then you have to take it to the Mercedes. In other words, you take it to the manufacturer, the one who knows the integrity of that system, of the engine, of the entire body of the car. So they have the technology to dissect, diagnose, and analyze what went wrong. And for that reason, they're in a position to fix it, to put it in perfect order. So the same way that I want us to look at the world as well, that the one who created the world is the one that can fix it. The one who created things and put them in order is the one that can amend it when things is no longer working the way it should be. So in other words, you cannot take the hands of God off the matters of the world. You cannot. You see, taking God's hands off is a disaster. And the disaster is going to not just affect this present generation, it's also going to affect the generation after. Because the foundation we lay now is what they're going to get, what they're going to build on. And when the foundation is rocky, when the foundation is not solid, when that foundation is shaky, you can be rest assured that whatever they build on, they will not be able to stand. So we are in a world that is very chaotic. We are in a world that husband and wife can, they tend to find it difficult to live together. Children against their parents. It is a world that you see children say that they divorce their parents. It is a world that you discover that there are more single parents than married couples. That the institution of marriage is of no value, of no significance any longer. It is basically what makes you happy. But that is not God's plan for humanity. And you discover that in a world that we live now, is a world that men will attack women, women will attack men. And I say to myself, I thank God there are only two sexes, male and female. There is no third one. So, in other words, the two sexes needs to find a common ground to live together. But guess what happened? They are so antagonistic of one another. They are at each other's truth. We point out what the other one do not do, what the other one lacks. We choose not to look at the merit, but we talk about the demerit. But the thing is, there is nowhere you will find anyone being perfect. It is the imperfection of the other person that you need to make perfect. So we need to add value to each other life to make that life to be able to fulfill purpose. What you do not have, then your spouse needs to bring that in. What you have that he or she doesn't have is to make the whole body to be whole and to be perfect. That is a world that we live now. That is a world that we find ourselves. And I want to say this to you this morning, that when things become so chaotic like this, when things start falling apart. Just like what Professor Shinachebe of blessed memory said in one of his literature book, Things Fall Apart. Said things fall apart for the center cannot hold. I imagine when he wrote that years back. So now look at what is happening now. And when you also there was a time I was listening to Fela's songs, and some of the things that he mentioned, and including Ebenezer Obey, Sonny Ade, they sang songs at the time that we just think it was just ordinary songs, but now it's becoming so meaningful. It's becoming so meaningful that thing that is happening today is an indication that our world needs the one who created it. Needs the one who created our world. And that's what Psalm 46 made us to know, that in the process of this going through of the world, in the chaotic state that the world finds itself, that amidst this chaotic world, that God is still the ultimate. And that's why when you look at verse 1, verse 7, verse 11, say God is our refuge. Psalm 46 verse 1, God is our refuge. He went further and said, He's our strength, our ever-present help in trouble. Our refuge, our present help in trouble, and above all, our strength, our strength. And I want to say this, friends, that this is the time that we need to recognize the fact that our world needs God. The corporate world needs God. Your individual world too needs God. Your ministry and your family needs God. Your business needs God. Because the scripture said God is our refuge. Is also our strength. But guess what? Our ever-present help in trouble. Are we not in trouble now? Or you think we're not yet in trouble? We need to wait until mega or major trouble comes. But I want to provoke you. I want to enlighten you. I want to remind you. I want to awake you that yes, we are already in trouble. The world is already in trouble. The ecological crisis alone, the devastation alone, is a clear indication that the world is in trouble. As a result of ecological degradation, you see, there is food shortage. There is scarcity of food. The remaining food available, the price is skyrocketing. Now look at the war. The war in Ukraine and Russia has affected so many things, so many businesses, so many economy depends on Russia oil, and so many nations depend on Ukraine grain. So and look at that can no longer flow the way it used to flow. So electricity, utility, gas, everything went up. Then food supply too went up. Men are struggling. Everywhere is a struggle. And you still think that the world do not need God. The world do need God. It is Him that can put an end. If we seek His hand, if we seek His face. And that's why the scripture says that they that seek Him, they will find Him. But our behavior and our attitude, our mannerisms, our response to issues is an indication that we do not need God in the affairs of this world. That we can do it ourselves. But since we've taken up that option, where the question is, where has He landed us? Where has He landed us? So we need to recognize the chaotic situation around us. You know, spanning from one nation to another, from society to society, from family to family, you know, from the business, the ministry, the nations. So we need to recognize the chaotic situation around us. And it is as a result of that that we need to take the matter back to the one that can fix it. It is my prayer for you this morning, as you deliberate on this message, that the Lord will minister to you, that the Lord will give you an open mind, a heart that listens, a heart that can make a difference. Let me tell you this. We cannot continue to blame other people as being responsible. It's our world. Your world, my world. Your children, my children, our grandchildren are going to live in that world. So you need to make a difference. Don't say, well, what can a single me do? Yeah, a single you can make a difference. If you're going to watch this telecast later, you live in Africa, go and look at, you know, the way the people drop bottled water, plastics, nylon bags, debris on the gutter, on the floor, on the road, all littered everywhere. And you're talking about health issues. You see, if you know the of people that malaria, that is reported that malaria that have killed in Africa, then you will know that all those things that you're dropping, all the rubbishes you're blocking the gutter, that you do not allow the gutter to flow, is breathing malaria. And you are equally responsible. Before you start to blame the government, you need to ask yourself, are you not responsible? Are you not contributing to this chaotic world? If you do, then you can make a difference. You can make a difference. The difference you make, the decision you make, you'll be able to, you know, encourage other people that don't drop that litter there. Don't put it there. This is where you need to put it. This environment is an environment we are, you know, created by God for our comfort. That's why the scriptures say that God created this world, and he looked around, he said everything he created, including humanity, is perfect. Now, how do we now have this imperfection? And you know the rest of the story, as a result of humanity not doing the right thing, expected to keep the environment safe, to keep life safe. So this is what I have come to encourage you today, that the world needs you. Your children needs the world. Your family needs the world. We all need this world. This is the world that we're going to live. We can make a difference. But in a chaotic world that we find ourselves, when situation gets out of hand that you cannot control, you cannot deal with, then you take it to the manufacturer. You take it to the one who created the world. The one who created the world is the one that can fix it. And I should make effort today to go before the Lord. I pray that you will remember this word. You will remember and pray for this word. That look, your children are still going to remain here. That may their life be better. May the world be peaceful. May the world be joyful for them, for your children and your children's children. If for the sake of your children and your children's children, then you need to go before the Lord and say, Lord, make this world a better place, because the chaos is unbelievable. And the Bible talks about the heart of men is desperately wicked and evil. He said, who can know it? And that's why you see someone will wake up in the morning, a child stabbing a child, which is uncalled for. A father raping their daughters, it's unheard of. Then a girl saying she wants to get married to her father, or another one getting pregnant for her stepfather, the husband of her mother. So you can see the world that we live, a world that lacks integrity, that lacks dignity, a world that is full of shame. A world that thinks that, I can do whatever I want to do because it is my life, it is my world. Yeah, it's your life, but it's not your world. The one who created the world is the owner of the world. So if somebody comes to your house and start to damage your house, your property, you're not going to be happy with that individual. So do you think God is happy with us destroying the environment, destroying the world that he created? No, the answer is no. So as you make up your mind this morning to go before him, or perhaps you're not thinking of going to church, but I'm challenging you right now that you need to go to church. You just need to go to church and worship God. So because if you see David says something very profound. Said in Psalm 121, said, I am glad when they said to me, let us go to the house of the Lord. Said he was glad. There was a joy in his heart that he was glad. He had palace, he had beautiful places, had beautiful women, have everything all around him. But he said the moment they told him that, look, let us go to the house of the Lord, said he was glad. There was joy in his heart. You should be joyful to make that decision in going to the house of the Lord, to worship and to give him glory, to give him honor. And that's all what a requested from us, to honor him, to worship him. Don't let the party last night hinder you from worship today. Don't let the stress around you hinder you from getting up to worship. Oh, I will join the church online. Oh, I will do it another day. Oh, let me say this to you. If it's becoming difficult for you to go out of your way to do things, to go and worship God, because it's too far, because I can't drive, because I'm a bit tired. May God never be tired on your matter. I said again, may God never be tired on your matters, on the matter of your family. How will you feel if you get the same response and say, look, I'm tired of your case at the moment, so I don't have time. I will deal with your case, the case of your family or your city, your nations at another time. Imagine the chaos, imagine the calamity, you imagine the pain that your nation, your family, your ministry, your business will have gone through before the rescue, before they will have time for it. So get up, do what David did. I am glad when they said to me, let us go to the house of the Lord. And it is my prayer that Emmanuel will be with you, as I pray that Emmanuel will uphold his nation, his world. That where there are no peace, I pray that there will be peace. Where there are famine, I pray that the rain of abundance will fall. I pray that the Lord will turn things around. I pray that all the wicked heart and soul that are so determined to destroy this world, to destroy peace, the Lord will minister to them and will take away their wicked heart and give them a heart that is after God himself. This is what I have come to share with you this morning. I want to encourage you, friends, that you share on your wall. Invite your friends and family. Let them know this worship time is time to go to church. And it's time to go to church. Or maybe you're skeptical about church these days. You do not go there to worship man. You go to worship the King of Kings. If you're looking for your leader to be perfect, the question is, are you perfect yourself? If you are to take census of your own leadership at home with your family, are you perfect? So when an imperfect person expecting perfection from other people, then you can see the hypocrisy. So you do not go to church because of a man. You go to church to have an encounter with God. It's when we make people in the church to become our focus, our center. Then you now say, they said this about me, they said that about you, they gossip, they do all sorts of things. You begin to dwell so much on things that are irrelevant to the kingdom. And we will now start to look at things that are relevant to the kingdom. You put them on aside and you focus on irrelevant things. And I just pray that the Lord will open your mind, He will open your understanding. that by the special grace of God, you will do that will bring glory to his name. That's what I have come to share with you this morning. So me too, I need to start to make my way to church for the service. Until such a time I come your way, happy Sunday to you, my friends and family. May this Sunday never be your last Sunday. May the Lord minister to you and do that bring glory to his name. And do exactly what David did. Get up and get ready. Don't be weary. Don't be lazy. Don't be tired. Go and worship. I look forward to welcome you this morning to our church. Peradventure you live in areas of Hackney, East London. It will be a pleasure to welcome you. Adventure you do not have a church that you attend. You are very much welcome. We'll be glad to welcome you. And also today is our last 7 days of prophetic Sunday. This last 7 Sunday of prophetic Sunday. Come and join us. Come and rejoice with us as we pray together, as we commit the rest of this year into God's hands and our family. Until such a time I come your way, have a wonderful worship and God bless you.